Hi everyone. So I've got got the bike on the ramp, ready to take the engine out. I've overhauled the gear out of that engine that I stripped out of part one. I replaced second gear and third and fourth because the dogs were worn out, as we seen before. Here we go. And that's the second gear. Just had a bit of wear, sort of there. So I've got all gaskets ready to go, sunk gaskets, etc. So today I'm going to take that engine out of that, get it on the bench, split the casing and fit the gearbox in it, or gear input and output shaft. So this will be a fun day. Let's get this bike on the road. Right, so at this stage now of my engine removal, manifold came off nice and easy. Not one stud is seized, well, didn't seize on the stud and dragged the stud out or snapped the stud. To be fair, I've never had trouble with Kawasaki's. The zx10r has been cool, and when I decatted the Z1000, that came off nice as well. But yeah, other bikes I've had, like Hondas and that, they've all snapped. So I've always been lucky, apart from that Honda I had, which was a Blackbird. So I took the clutch out, clutch basket, took the chain sprocket, front sprocket off. Done that while the engine is still on the bike, because I can lock it with the chain and the brake, so I don't have to mess about with the engine out. No rushing. Put that back on there, stop the oil. I've obviously drained the oil. Put that back on there, stop the oil getting everywhere and away from me. Clearly the radiator's off. Now I'm going to take the tank off and work at the top end of the engine. I'm going to get the throttle bodies off and everything. Disconnect various wires and sensors. I've done a few already, which is the cat converters. Manifold's in really good condition, to be fair, for an old bike. I will be putting a decat pipe on, like we said, pal. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that shaky thing. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to crack on, go a bit longer. So far, it's funny because when you start taking the fairing off and you start looking, you think to yourself, "Oh, this is a big job." I always do it every time I take an engine out of a bike. At the start, but once you get stuck into it, you just before you know it, you're at this stage, and you know it's all exposed now. So it's all just the top end now, just loosening things off and taking wires off, and then just dropping it out the frame. So it does, you know, at first you do start thinking to yourself, I can't be bothered. This is a big job, but it is a project, and for me, it's not like my road bike or daily or anything like that. So it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't mean, however, that I've got good patience, but I once I start something, I don't like it leaving in bits for long periods of time. That's why I did what I did by doing that. So when I get it out, I can straight away, you know, get it fixed and up and running again. So yeah, so I'm gonna. It is a cleaner engine than that other one. Like I said previously on part one, the casing was in awful condition, and this one is clean. So I think that one was used a lot in the rain and stuff, and probably in the winter. That spare engine that I got, because this one is clean. And look at all that there. That was black on the other one. So yeah, it's been a cared for bike, to be fair. It really is a clean bike. It's nice to work on as well. Right, I'm gonna push on. See you soon. Well, we got the engine out. Well, I got the engine out. It's took me 4.5 hours to get it out. Taking my time with it, not rushing. and I've done all the, as I said, I've done the clutch and the various other bits, and I've just got to strip it down, all the water pumps and thermostats, oil cooler, starter, obviously the timing belt, the clutch cover, and then split the case. Quite excited to see what this gearbox is like, because all the other gears worked bar fourth, and when you put it in fourth, I did it once, and because I've got a mechanical sympathy for engines, I don't like wrecking them, even if I'm rebuilding it. I just can't, you know what I mean? I could feel it like for like a couple of seconds jumping in and out of gear. So obviously what was happening was, so you got your dot, you got your fork, and when it was engaging into fourth, these are machined, these dogs, see how they slide in, and so that's obviously, so that will slide to third, and then it'll go to fourth and engage. So these just spin, see that, and that's the drive. This drives through the shaft, so when it engages that gear. So you've got your dogs here, there's your little dogs, and when they wear out, let's just move the fork out the way and pretend that's still there, and what happens is it jumps out and does this and just keeps jumping out like that. And that's that horrible feeling if you've experienced it. And if you see, it's machined as well, so there's a slight angle on the dog, so when it engages it pulls in and locks into place. So when the slightest bit of wear, and it'll just keep sliding out, so it doesn't take much to wear out, and it just that's what happens. And that's why these forks can bend, because if you imagine if that's pushing out and that's engaged, you end up bending the fork. Now this gearbox that I took out was running fine, so I've not got bent forks, but there's a good chance on mine, because I didn't do it much, but I don't know what the previous owner did. He said he was out riding, and he said it started doing it. He took it to a garage and it was too dear to repair. So whether or not, I don't know if he sat there and, you know, give it a big uns on the rev. Oh, what's wrong with this? And, you know, imagine doing that over a long period of time. He's probably done it, you know, several times, and if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, it will bend. And what a lot of people do is they'll still ride the bike, and every now and then you'll slip into fourth or whatever gear's knackered, and it'll keep doing it, and eventually you will cause more damage. So some people just think, you know, jump the fourth gear, but there's no way I was doing that, because it just wind me up. How can you enjoy a ride when you're riding out and you have to keep thinking of what gear you're in, dropping down and lifting back up again? And well, anyway, that wasn't happening. That's why I've done this. So now I'm going to strip it down, split the case again, like I've done with the spare engine, and I can't believe how clean it is. It's just mad, isn't it? You know, you go from one owner to the next, like that other engine. If you look at my previous video on part 1, you'll see that all the paint all over the sump, all the bottom casing, it's all peeled off, and look at that. It's like almost like, you know, a new engine. It's so clean. You know, it's obviously got grease on it off the chain and that, but you know, it's still got the factory numbers on everything. I mean, the other one did have that as well, but it just goes to show, doesn't it, that it's crazy, isn't it, how we have different owners. And I could tell, I had a funny feeling about this bike. It was a clean, cared for bike. It is a clean, cared for bike, because you can just tell by the, you know, by the condition of it. And such a shame the fourth gear went on it. It's got full service history and everything. So it's obviously down to the way some people ride differently, don't they, and clutches changes and all that. So, you know, and it's, I doubt it's been on the track. It's got no nasty stone chips or anything like that. You know, marks and been bashed around and that. So, but anyway, here we are. It's a common thing anyway, isn't it? So I think it's a common thing between 15 and 20,000, 25,000 that these gearboxes kind of like just let go. So yeah, you'd not long done an oil change as well. The oil, when I dropped the oil of it looked new. It's not going back in. I'll put my own in and a new filter. But again, you know, it's and he put a new starter on as well. Apparently, it does actually look new. Yeah, he had a bit of trouble with the charging on it, so we had that replaced. So he did all that, and he bought the bike. You know, I think he had it, you know, sort of like 6 months or something, and then the gearbox happened, and then he obviously took it to a garage, and well, for a garage to do something like this, I don't even know what to charge. It must be a couple of grand at least. Engine out, then split it, then do the gearbox. It's not even worth it. So unless you can do it yourself, it's just not worth doing. But it is easy. I mean, don't let, you know, some people say, you know, don't do it yourself and all that. I'm no mechanic. I just know a bit about engines and stuff. You know, even I've had to like read through the manual, the Heinz book a couple of times, just to, you know, just to like learn up about it. And you know, it's knowledge, isn't it? It's what we need these days. A lot of people, you know, they're just taking them to garages now, and all things are just getting written off and sold to people like me, who are willing to take the chance and do the work. I mean, I'm more than capable of doing it. I know I am. So, but you know, it looks all complicated, and when you got all the bits out. But if you take your time and make mental notes or take pictures or whatever, you can do this. It's pretty. And it's you get a lot of satisfaction from it as well, because once I got all this back together and back in the bike, I got myself a running with what I know with a decent gearbox. You know, it's not like I've gone out and spent £5,000, £4,000 on one of these, and it's always going to be in the back of my mind, when's that gearbox going to go? At least now I know, and with it being treated like by myself, it's going to run sweet as a nut. Hopefully. So yeah, right, I'm gonna split this up. I'll continue the video, and we'll see how bad compared to a apparently running gearbox from my part 1 to a not running gearbox that I've experienced myself. So yeah, see you soon. Okay, so we got it. We got it. I've got it apart. Been a long day today, and I found the problem on this one. So it was on the output shaft, and I've disassembled it because I wanted to get a good look at it. And it's this gear here. So it's the third gear in from the chain side. So it was here, so it's third gear in, which is the 4th output. And if you can just see that there, it is proper worn, really worn out. You can see where it's been proper rubbing, and on the fork, it's slightly bent. Well, you probably won't see it on the camera. Yeah, it's slightly bent to the right. You can see where it's got hot, and it's worn into the fork. So that would sit. Where's my good one? Here's my good one. So that would sit in there like that. And what's happened is, when this gear here is sliding into the 4th, it's been, like I said, what it does, it pushes it, and it pushes it against the fork, and over time the fork does actually hold it in. So it's worn out, then the fork will hold it in, and that's why it gets hot, because of friction. So it'll wear into it, and eventually the fork will get hot, it will soften the metal and cause it to bend, and that's when you get that that feeling. I don't know if whoever's experienced it will know when you've got a dodgy gearbox on a bike. It's like a, you can hear this like rattling, and it's what's happening is it's going back in because this fork's trying to hold it in, and it's going in and out, in and out, in and out like that, and it's just moving all over the place and shaking, yeah, causing all sorts of nasty noises. So that being said, I was going to put this in. So this is the one I've just put a new gear on the end, and it is slightly, the fourth is slightly worn. You can see that. Come on, focus, Phil. It is slightly worn. So because it's slightly worn, I was gonna leave it, but after seeing my old one, my actual bike that's done that, I don't want this to do that again. So I'm going to replace this one, that one, and that one, I think. No, sorry, yeah, going to replace this one. It slides, which I believe is the 6th. It's called the 6th out. And then I'm going to do this one, which is the 4th out. And then I'm going to do this one, which is a 3rd out. That's got slight little wear to it. Not a massive amount. See it? But just enough to put me off. Why I've got it all out, I might as well. Hopefully I can get these. So I might as well place 3rd out, 4th out, and apparently it's 6. I call it slide because it slides. But apparently that's the part number for it. I put slide because it slides. So I looked online and it's called 6th out, and then you got 3rd out and 4th out, which would explain why it was jumping in 4th gear. Now I thought it would be this over here, but it wasn't. It was actually the output shaft. So yeah, so Monday I'll order them bits hopefully from Kawasaki and get them the day after, and then I'll probably next time I'll get a chance to sort of hit this. I didn't really want to leave it like this for a long period of time, but I'm going to leave it till next weekend. I think I might do bits to it over the night, a couple of nights when it comes in, like maybe put the casing together and the engine together. I had a good look at my bearings as well. It's always all in good condition. And my crank as well. There's my timing chain. So I'm happy. Can't believe the casing difference, because I got the casing before to get some bits, because surprise, they rounded off. And on the scrap engine, they come out nice and easy. So I just, not even thinking, just thinking, oh, they come out easy on the scrap engine. And it's always the way, innit? You get the good one, and it rounds off on you. So I had to draw the bugger out and drill them out. Luckily, I didn't have to retap it, because when I was drilling, the thread fan, I use a reverse drill. The thread then come out then, because obviously when you snap the head off, the tension stops. So that holds the shaft for the fork, for the input shaft, and it holds the drum, which is the selector. So that goes in there like that, and then your selector, then it goes, when you lock it up and down, it turns and it moves the dogs. See how so the dogs will follow these lines here, and that's how it changes gear. You can see where it's been pushing into my casing, the gearing. See that? So you can see how much movement there was in my gearbox when it was selecting gear. So so the output shaft on the scrap engine was actually okay condition. So I do believe the guy did say it was working fine, but there is slight wear. And it could last ages, but while I've got it apart, I might as well replace the gears, and it just makes sense just to do it. And in that way I've got like a recon gearbox in, haven't I? So I don't have to worry about it. I didn't take the oil pump out this time. I just used adjustable not adjustable spanner, a ring spanner. I didn't want to mess with that again because it comes in 2 parts, and it's like, yeah, I hate messing with oil pumps. So, and it's got oil in there, so it's primed. So when I start it, I won't spin it too much, you'll empty it, but yeah. So you've got your oil pump there, and you've got your oil way down there, and it comes back here into your oil filter housing. Goes through the oil filter housing and back into the engine again, and filters through and lubes all your crank and even your gearbox as well. Little oil ways everywhere. So yeah, okay. So this is going to be part 2. This is part 2, and the next video will be reassemble. I'll do like a little bit of a I'll put it together. I'll do like a little video of putting the gears in, and then I'll get a drill on the end of the shaft and I'll spin it, because you have to spin it for it to select, because on this gear here you've got little ball bearings, and it only moves when it's spinning, because the ball bearings lock it into position. Something to do with neutral, 5th neutral or something, I've read up. So yeah, so that can be a bugger to get out. You have to spin it and then move it at the same time, and the ball bearings, obviously with gravity, central force, move out of the shaft, which is, the ball bearings sit there, so that cog slides on here. We got little ball bearings that sit in here, which locks it, and it stops it moving from side to side. And obviously when it's spinning, the ball bearings come out of there and sit in the pockets of the gear, and it allows it to move further than this line here. Crazy. So yeah, so I was interested to know why. It's something to do with 5th neutral or something. I don't know, maybe you could let me know in the comments. It'd be yeah, something to do 5th neutral or something like that, or stops it going in neutral when it goes across to 5th or something, or false neutral, I don't know. But it's to prevent something to do with that anyway. So plus I need to clean all this surface here, and get some stuff for that. Okay, that's me for today, in a calorie deficit for my bodybuilding show, and I feel absolutely knackered. So it's been a long day. Thanks for watching, guys. I will post in the next week or 2 of the reassemble. Cheers guys.